Hi there viewers and gamers alike out there. Welcome back to another Dueling Bug video. Today I'll be showing you another card smart trick of mine, the Hyperdimension Neptunia themed Gameland archetype. I'm your co-host, St. Lawrence. Before we begin, don't forget to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. And without further ado, let's get started on this. Now, start off directly, we have Gameland Assault. It's a normal trap with the following effect. When a Gameland monster would be destroyed by battle or card effects, discard one card. If you do, the targeted monster... Moment, please. The targeted monster is shuffled into the deck instead. You take no battle damage the turn this card was activated. Gameland Barrier. Normal trap with the following effect. When your opponent could attack on a Gameland monster, negate the attack, and if you do, banish all monsters your opponent controls. Oh, dang it. Hold on. Next up is Gameland Battle Plan. It's a continuous spell with the following effect. Declare an attribute among Earth, Fire, Water, or Wind. All Gameland monsters of that attribute you control can attack directly. Next up, our first Fire attribute card, Gameland Black. Hi Noah, how you doing? It is a level 4 Fire Warrior monster with 2400 attack and 1500 defense, and has the following effect. All Fire attribute Gameland monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. Next up, for the younger, time for the little sister. Gameland Black Candidate, obviously based on Uni. She is a level 4 Fire Warrior monster with 1000 attack and 500 defense, and that's the following effect. If you control Gameland Black, you can spell summon this card from your hand. All Fire attribute Gameland monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. If you use that disease material, the XZ summoned monster gains the following effect. If it is XZ summoned, add one Fire attribute Gameland monster from your deck to your hand. Next up, Gameland Blackheart. It is a rank 4 Fire Celestial Warrior XZ monster with protagonist monster status, and requires 2 level 4 Fire attribute Gameland monsters. It has the following effect. All Fire attribute Gameland monster control cannot be controlled by battle or card effects. This card gains 500 attack for every Fire attribute monster attached to this card's XZ material. Next up, Gameland Black Knight. A level 4 Fire Warrior monster with protagonist monster status, and has the following effect. When this card declares an attack on a defense position monster, this card's name is treated as Gameland Black while it's on the field or in the graveyard. When this card declares an attack on a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Gameland Black Oracle. It's a level 4 Fire Warrior monster with 1000 attack and 1400 defense, as the following effect. Add one Fire attribute Gameland monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect at Gameland Black Oracle once per turn. Next up, Gameland Black Sister. There is a rank 4 Fire Celestial Warrior XZ monster with Red Eye stats. It requires 2 level 4 Fire attribute Gameland monsters and has the following effect. Spell summon one fire attribute game monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Then we use this effect at Gameland Purple Sister once per turn. Moment, please. Try that again. Can we use this effect at Gameland Black Sister once per turn? Now it's time for our first Earth, for the Earth attributes. Gameland Enchanter. Level 4 Earth Warrior monster with 1500 attack and 1700 defense, and has the following effect. This card's name is treated as Gameland Green while it's on the field or in the graveyard. When this card is summoned, all Earth attribute Gameland monsters you control gain 1000 attack. Gameland Friendship. Normal spell with the following effect. Declare an attribute. I'm on Earth, Fire, Water, or Wind. Spell summon one Gameland monster with that attribute from your hand. Gameland Fun Time. Normal spell basically does the same thing as Friendship except from the deck. Gameland Fusion. Normal spell with the following effect. Fuse someone Gameland Fusion monster using Gameland monsters on your field or hand as fusion material. Okay, so I'm making good time. Gameland Green is a level 4 Earth Warrior monster with 1700 attack, 1300 defense, as the following effect. All Earth attribute gaming monster control cannot be destroyed by battle. Gameland Greenheart. Level 8 Earth Celestial Warrior Ritual monster with protagonist monster status. And has the following effect. Give her summon this card with Gameland Outing. All Earth attribute monster control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. This card gains 500 attack for every Earth attribute Gameland monster in your graveyard. Moment, please. Gameland Green Oracle. Level 4 Earth Warrior monster with the same stats as Black Oracle. That all oracles pretty much have the same stats, so I'm gonna skip over those from now on for sake of time. As a following effect, add one Earth attribute Gameland monster from your deck to your hand. You'll use this effect the Gameland Green Oracle once per turn. Gameland Intelligence. The level 4 your pendulum monster. Start with a scale of 1 and 900 attack, 300 defense. That's the following pendulum effect. Pendulum monster effect. Declare an attribute among Earth, Fire, Water, or Wind. This card's treated as that attribute while it's on the pendulum zone. Declare an attribute among Earth, Fire, Water, or Wind. Spell summon one Gameland monster of that attribute. Can we use this effect in Gameland Intelligence? Gameland Iris. This one is a level 4 Wind Warrior monster with 2000 attack and 1000 defense, and has the following effect. This card is always treated as a Gameland Purple card. All Wind attribute Gameland monsters control gain 1000 attack. Gameland Iris Heart. It's a level 8 Wind Celestial Warrior Synchro monster with Blue Eye stats, and has the following effect. And requires one Wind attribute Gameland tuner plus one non-tuner Wind attribute Gameland monster. This card can attack twice per turn. Gameland Last Station is a field spell with the following effect. All fire attribute game monsters you control can't be banned by your opponent's card effects. You can only use the following effects at Gameland Last Station once per turn. 1. Bounce on one fire attribute Gameland monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. 2. If you control a fire attribute Gameland XYZ monster, draw one card. Gameland Lean Box. Field spell with the following effect. All Earth attribute Gameland must... Hold on. Land monsters you control can't be banned by your opponent's card effects. You can only use the following effects of Gameland Lean Box once per turn. 1. Spell summon Earth attribute Gameland monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. 2. If you control an Earth attribute Gameland ritual monster, draw one card. Gameland Louis. Field spell with the following effect. All water attribute Gameland monsters you control cannot be banned by your opponent's card effects. You can use the following effects of Gameland Louis once per turn. 1. Special 1 water attribute Gameland monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. 2. If you control a water attribute Gameland fusion monster, draw one card. Now, Gameland Maids. It is a level 4 Wind Warrior Tuner monster with 2000 attack, 100 defense, and has the following effect. This card's name is treated as Gameland Purple Cannon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. If you control Gameland Paladin, you have to spell summon this card from your hand. If you use a synchro material, the synchro summoned monster gains the following effect. If it's a synchro summon, add one Gameland spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. Next up, a little subset I like to call the next spell lineup. Next Link Monster lineup. First up, Gameland Next Plaque is a Link 3 Fire Celestial Warrior Link Monster with 4,500 attack and arrows pointing all down. It requires 3 fire attribute Gameland monsters and has the following effect. All fire attribute game monsters discard points you cannot be stored by battle or card effects. This card points to a fire attribute Gameland XYZ monster, it gains 1,000 attack. Gameland Next Green. Link 3 Earth Celestial Warrior Link monster with 4,500 attack, arrows pointing all down, and requires 3 Earth attribute Gameland monsters, has the following effect. All Earth attribute Gameland monsters this card points to cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. This card points to an Earth attribute Gameland ritual monster and gains 1,000 attack. Gameland Next Purple. Link 3 Wind Celestial Warrior Link monster at 4,500 attack and arrows pointing all down. Requires 3 Wind attribute Gameland monsters, has the following effect. All Wind attribute Gameland monsters this card points to can be destroyed by battle or card effects. This card points to a Wind attribute Gameland synchro monster and gains 1,000 attack. Gameland Next White. A Link 3 Water attribute Celestial Warrior Link monster with 4,500 attack and more please. Arrows pointing all down. Requires 3 water attribute Gameland monsters has the following effect. All water attribute Gameland monsters discard points 2 cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Discard points to a water attribute Gameland fusion monster, it gains 1000 attack. Next up, Gameland Ninja. It's a level 4 water warrior monster with 1500 attack and defense, and has the following effect. Discards name is treated as Gameland White-Candid Pink while it's on the field or in the graveyard. This card is not treated as a ninja card. When this card is summoned, destroy all spell or trap cards your opponent controls. Gameland Nurse. Level 4 Light Warrior Pendulum monster with 1000 attack and 500 defense. Scale of 8. That has the following pendulum and monster effect. Gain 1000 attack points every Gameland monster in your graveyard. Declare an attribute among Earth, Fire, Water, or Wind. All Gameland monsters of that attribute you control gain 1000 attack. Gameland Outing. It's a ritual spell with the following effect. Ritual summon one Gameland virtual monster from your hand or deck using Gameland monsters on the field or hand as material whose level exactly equal to the level of the ritual monster you wish to summon. Gameland Paladin is a level 4 Wind Warrior monster with 2000 attack and 2500 defense. It has the following effect. Discard name is treated as Gameland Purple outs on the field or in the graveyard. When this card is summoned, change the balances of all monsters your opponent controls. Man, it's going to be a bit of a long one. Gameland Plantune. It's a field spell with the following effect. All wind attribute Gameland monsters you control cannot be banished by your opponent's card effects. Can we use the following effects of Gameland Plantune once per turn? 1. Spell summon one wind attribute Gameland monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. If you control wind attribute Gameland secret monster, draw a card. Gameland Priest is a level 4 water spellcaster monster with 1000 attack and 1400 defense. It has the following effect. This card's name is treated as Gameland White while it's on the field or in the graveyard. Gain 1000 life points for every water attribute Gameland monster in your graveyard. Can we use this effect of Gameland Priest once per turn? Gameland Purple. It's a level 4 Wind Warrior monster with 2000 attack and 1500 defense, and has the following effect. All wind attribute Gameland monsters you control can be destroyed by battle. Gameland Purple Candidate is a level 4 Wind Warrior Tuner monster with 1000 attack and 500 defense, and has the following effect. If you control Gameland Purple, you can spell summon this card from your hand. All wind attribute Gameland monsters you control can be destroyed by card effects. If you use a synchro material, the synchro summoned monster gains the following effect. If it's synchro summoned, add one wind attribute Gameland monster from your deck to your hand. Gameland Purple Heart is a level 8 Wind Slicing Warrior Synchro monster with protagonist monster status. Requires one wind attribute Gameland tuner plus one non-tuner Gameland monster. Has the following effect. All wind attribute Gameland monster control can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. This card gains 500 attack for every wind attribute Gameland monster in your graveyard. Gameland Purple Oracle. Level 4 Wind Spellcaster monster with the same stats as their counterparts. It has the following effect. Add one wind attribute Gameland monster from your deck to your hand. Can we use this effect of Gameland Purple Oracle once per turn? Game Land Purple Sister. Level 8 Wind Celestial Synchro Monster with Red Eye stats. Requires 1 Wind Attribute Game Land Tuner plus 1 non-tuner Wind Attribute Game Land Monster. That's the following effect. That's one Wind Attribute Game Land Monster from your hand deck or graveyard. Go use this effect of Game Land Purple Sister once per turn. Game Land Samurai. Level 4 Water Warrior Monster with 1500 attack and defense. Has the following effect. This card's name is treated as Game Land White Candid Blue while it's on the field or in the graveyard. When this card is summoned, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Game Land Shares. Equip spell the following effect. Equip this card only to a Game Land monster. The equipped monster gains 1000 attack. Game Land Thief. Level 4 Fire Warrior Monster with 1000 attack, 500 defense, and has the following effect. This card's name is treated as Game Land Black Candid while it's on the field or in the graveyard. If you control Game Land Black Knight, you can spell summon this card from your hand. If you use an XYZ material, the XYZ summoned monster gains the following effect. If XYZ summoned, you can add 1 Fire Attribute Game Land monster from your deck from your graveyard to use as material. I really need to get out of that. Game Land Ultra Black. Level 4 Fire Warrior Monster with 2000 attack and 1000 defense has the following effect. This card's name is treated as Game Land Black while it's on the field or in the graveyard. One please. All fire attribute game monsters you control gain 1000 attack. Game Land White. Level 4 Water Warrior Monster with 2000 attack and 2400 defense has the following effect. All water attribute Game Land monster you control can't be destroyed by battle. Game Land Candid Blue. Level 4 Water Spellcaster with 1500 attack and 1500 defense has the following effect. You control Game Land White, enter Game Land White Candid Pink, and spell summon this card from your hand. All water attribute Game Land monster control can be destroyed by card effects. If it uses fusion material, the fusion summoned monster gains the following effect. If it is fusion summoned, add 1 water attribute Game Land monster from your deck to your hand. Game Land White Candid Pink. Same attribute type and stat as your sister, and twin, and has the following effect. If you control Game Land White and or Game Land White Candid, you can spell summon this card from your hand. All water attribute Game Land monster control are unaffected by your opponent's card effects. If you use fusion material, the fusion summoned monster gains the following effect. If it's fusion summoned, spell summon 1 water attribute Game Land monster from your hand or deck. Game Land Whiteheart. It is a level 8 Water Celestial Warrior Fusion monster with Protagonist monster stats. It requires at least 2 Water Attribute Game Land monsters. It has the following effect. All Water Attribute Game Land monster control can't be controlled by battle or card effects. This card gains 500 attack for every Water Attribute Game Land monster in your graveyard. Game Land White Oracle. Level 4 Water Spellcaster monster with the same stats as their counterparts. It has the following effect. Add 1 Water Attribute Game Land monster from your deck to your hands. You can use this effect at Game Land White Oracle once per turn. Gameland White Sisters. Level... Hold on. Level 8. Water Celestial Warrior Fusion Monster with Red Eye stats. Requires 1 Gameland White Sister Blue plus 1 Gameland White Sister Pink. And has the following effect. Best on 1 water attribute game monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You can only use this effect to Gameland White Sister once per turn. It seems we are going to stop here for the time being, and that's the Gameland archetype. It seems we are going to stop here for the time being, and don't you worry, we are going to continue to pick up where you left off, and thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. And we'll see you guys next time.